House of Israel, welcome back to the channel. This is your brother ACHI'KA David. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel. To get your notifications, make sure that you click on that bell at the top of your screen. I'd like to thank you guys so much for your support. By the way, if you're Hebrew, you may want to show up for a Hebrew class. I know I'm being a little firm here. The scriptures are written in Hebrew. If you say you're Hebrew and you don't understand the language and the culture, then how do you understand the heritage? You have to learn the language, people. That's just the truth. You got to learn the language. If we don't learn the language, okay, then we're doing ourselves a disservice. The Hebrew scriptures are the scriptures in which Moshe spoke in, the prophets spoke in, the writings, David, and all those. They spoke in that language. Nobody in our scriptures have ever spoken in the tongue of what you would call the Greeks or the Romans. I don't know how many times I got to say it, but I'm saying it today. Today I want to talk about what they call a Malak. You might ask yourself, well, what is a Malak? I'm going to tell you what a Malak is. A Malak is a messenger. Okay. The English translations use the word angel. A-N-G-E-L. You know how it's spelled. There is no word angel in the Hebrew scriptures. I have to say it again. There is no word for angel in the Hebrew scriptures. Period. None. You will never find it there. You will never find a Greek word over there that's translated into Hebrew. So when you thinking that, you know, the languages they're interactive and one can be the other and the other one could be the other one, that's not true, people. That's not true. The Hebrew scriptures have meaning. They have definition. They have substance. Every letter means something in Hebrew. The letters in English don't mean absolutely nothing. They don't have any significance. They don't have any culture behind it. They don't have any agriculture behind it. They don't have any senses of taste, smell, touch. They don't have any of those things. And so we're thinking that these languages are going to some kind of way gel themselves together. And so we trust it. Even though the Most High has never communicated to his people at all in Greek. At all. No Romans, nothing. So, we see and hear, all these different words. And that's how, people get you. It's like going to another country and you get there and you don't know their language, you don't know their culture, you don't know their customs. They literally can take advantage of you. They literally can, and you know it to be true. Okay? In the scriptures, we have what they call Malaks, not angels. And Malaks can appear as a man. They can appear as a man. And you find that in Genesis chapter number 32, where Yaakov was wrestling with a man and asked him to bless him. Right? And he said, I'm not going to let you go unless you bless me. And they had a conversation about, who are you? What's your name? He said, my name is Yaakov. He said, yeah, well, your name is no longer be Yaakov. I'm going to change to YISRAEL. Because you struggled with Elohim and men. And you prevailed. Which that's the definition of his name, meaning to prevail with Elohim and men. But then it was interesting that Yaakov had asked him, well, what is your name? What is your name? And we find this theme or this questioning all the time. I mean, we see it in the book of Judges, chapter number 13, with Moloch and his wife, which are the parents of what they call Samson, Shimshon, where, he told them what he was going to do. And, the woman was surprised. She said he looked like a Malak, not an angel. She said he was fearsome. And they asked him, well, what is your name? And he didn't give him a name. He said, it's wonderful. And meaning I'm going to do something wonderful. And what did he do wonderful? He jumped in the fire and went up in the Senate when they made an offering to the Holy One of Israel. And we know that it's not the same one. We know that he's not Yah. We know that. We know that he's not the Christ in the New Testament. We know that because this Malak is always talking about what Yahweh has said, not what he says. Not, well, you heard it's been said, but I say unto you. You never hear any of those things. We actually have an example in the book of Genesis, chapter number 48, where Yaakov is brought the two sons of Joseph to give them a blessing. And he adopted them as his children, and he invited them to the family. He said, these children belong to me. Read the chapters, chapter 48. And he said to him that the Elohim before whom my fathers had walked, which is key for us, because this is the Elohim of us. Is if you're Abraham and Yitzhak's children, then you only have one Elohim. You don't have another Elohim. And he said, this Elohim fed me all the days of my life, because he asked Elohim of Abraham and Yitzhak to feed him, and he would give him a tenth of everything he owned. You can read it. It's in the text. But oddly enough, in chapter number 48, verse 16, Yaakov calls upon a Malak who says that he's redeeming him from all evil, meaning he has made way with him through his life, and he's been with him the whole time. And that's who he's asking to confer the blessing of his name to be placed upon these two boys. You can read it. It's right there. Chapter number 48, verse 15, 16. It's right there. So why am I mentioning this? I'm mentioning this because the Moloch that Yaakov wrestled with to have his name changed is the same Moloch that he's calling upon to confer the name of YISRAEL onto these two boys, Ephraim and Manasseh, okay, which are Joseph's sons. The one who had the power to do so, the one who gave him his name. You see? So when you look at those texts carefully, you will see that he's calling upon the Moloch who blessed him to confer the blessing onto the name of Israel, onto Ephraim and Manasseh. We also see in Exodus where Yah is telling Moshe, I'm going to send a Moloch to guard you on your way into the land that I'm going to give you, that I prepared. But he gives him a condition that says, beware of him and obey his voice and do not provoke him, because he will not pardon your sin. There's no pardoning with him. Why? Because my name is in him. So Yah has a Moloch that has his name in him that says that he's not going to pardon any transgressions. So is this the Christ in the New Testament? Absolutely not. This Moloch is Yah's messenger, Yah's appointed one who walks for Yah and speaks what Yah said to be spoken. We see that no one in the New Testament at all has ever let come out of their mouth, thus saith Yahweh, or the word of Yahweh has come unto me, or the word of Yahweh, or the burden of Yahweh. Yahweh's name is never invoked at all in the New Testament, period. Okay? This Moloch, this in chapter number 23 of Exodus, is the same Moloch that is with the children of Israel. Where? Before they even went into Egypt. It's the same one. He's the same one that blessed Yaakov. He's the same one that showed up with Moshe in the bush. It says that a Malak of Yahweh, not an angel. They got angel there, but again, that's them using their words to convince you that it's an angel. It's not an angel. It's a Malak. Okay? But Yah says if you obey, going back to Exodus, if you obey this Malak and you listen to his voice, and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy to your enemies and an adversary to your adversaries. For my Malak will go before you, my Malak, not your Malak, my Malak, that I've appointed for you. He'll go and he'll destroy these people. He'll destroy the Amorites, the Kittites, the Perizzites, the Canaanites, the Hivites, the Jebusites. He'll cut them off, because that's what I sent him to do. Yah has his own personal Malak that he's given to the children of Israel. Question is this: who is this Malak? Well, in the Hebrew, the word meh means who. Like mit, M-I. That's what it is, meh. That's how you say who in Hebrew. Who? Meh. Meh. Who is this Malak? Who is he? What's his name? Everyone's been asking his name. What is his name? Yah hasn't revealed it to them. But guess what? He's going to reveal it to you today. Oh, you better hear what I'm saying. There's a preposition in Hebrew called ka. And ka means to be like. L-I-K-E. Like something. Like water. Water in Hebrew is mayim. So we would say ka mayim. Like water. or, like the sun, Ka Shemesh, So Ka is a preposition that's used in the Hebrew language to ask the question, who is like, right? So Mikai, right? So Mikah, Mikah. So far we got this word called Mikah, okay? Who is like, right? And the last part is El. And you know what El means? It means Elohim, power, the most powerful one. El. El is a short form of the word Elohim, power of all powers. So when we ask the question, who is like Elohim? Who is like him? You can only come up with one name, and that name is Mikael. Did you hear what I just told you? It's Mikael. That's who is like El, Mikael. This is the Elohim's Malak. This is Yahweh's Malak that he has given to the children of Israel. This is the one who's in the burning bush. This is the one in Genesis 22 when Abraham was going to sacrifice his son, Yitzchak. It's all here. This is the one in Judges 13. It's Mikael. He's the one. And you might ask yourself, well, ACHI'KA, do you have any proof of this? Besides you, making this up, or you putting all the pieces together? What's this solid proof that you have to prove that Mikael is not only Yahweh's messenger, but he's also been appointed to Israel? Well, here it is. It's in the book of Daniel, which Daniel means Elohim is my judge. It says, at that time, Mikael shall stand up, the great prince who stands watch, meaning guard and protect over the sons of your people. Sons of your people. Who people? Daniel's people, the children of Israel. And there shall be a time of trouble such never was since there was a nation, even to that time. And at that time your people, who Israel, shall be delivered, everyone who's found written in the book. And many of those who sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. Those who are wise shall shine like the brightness of the firmament. Wow. So Mikael is our prince. Mikael is our protector. Mikael is the Malak that's in Exodus, who watched over Israel. Mikael is the Malak that wrestled with who? With Yaakov, and changed his name to Israel. He's been assigned to the people of Israel. And he's the one who conferred the blessing of the name of Yisrael onto the sons of Yaakov. O house of Israel. O house of Israel. Only if we would continue to study the Hebrew language. Only if we would continue to understand that you and I are the children of the mighty one of Israel, the Holy One of Israel. I say shalom unto you. I say peace be unto you. I say let's continue to study. Let's continue to learn. Come to the class. You're going to learn more than you ever learned in your whole entire life. You're going to learn what it means to be Hebrew. You're going to learn what it means about the language and the culture and the richness of it and the glory and the esteem of everything. The letters actually have meaning. They have significance. They're not just words on a paper. And it gives you an opportunity to see the difference between the Greek mind and the Hebrew mind. And with that being said, I'd like to say to you, shalom.